right, people, come on in. Welcome into First Take here with Stephen A. Smith, Max Kellerman. I am Molly Karam. What's up, gentlemen?
What's up? Looking very sharp as always.
Yeah,
Stephen
you
A.
are.
How are you? How's everything
I'm good.
going?
How we doing?
Huh?
How we doing? You're good. You're always good.
We're starting off our show someplace. There are certain things in the world of sports that I think is sacrilegious.
Okay.
And we're about to get into it because I cannot believe what I read. I cannot believe what I heard.
All right.
Let us go.
Buckle up, people, because Stephen A. is about to unleash. You know who else is? Brick. Stephen A. returns as Brick, making another appearance on ABC's General Hospital later today. We will prepare you for Stephen A.'s return to daytime television. You are an actor with a SAG card. We love it. It's already DVR'd.
You know, well, you got to remember, we have to hurry up do this show because us actors, we have a lot of busy things to do.
Not just an actor, but he gets to play a gangster.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
This is my people.
You know he
call
loves
your,
that.
My people call your people.
Yeah.
You know.
We get it.
We get it together.
We get
it together.
All right, let's get into it. We're going to start with LeBron James, as Stephen alluded to. Since coming in the league, LeBron has been chasing the ghost of Michael Jordan as the GOAT. James had some interesting comments on the subject when he joined the Open Run podcast on the Uninterrupted Podcast Network.
I don't think MJ ever had a Game 7 in the finals. And people say, well, he was able to close it out early, you know, and they act like he just, you know, did it all on his own and things of that nature. They forget the shot by Paxson on the left wing, you know.
I got burned by Bill Winnington a bunch of times.
You want to know the crazy thing? In that game, in that particular game in Phoenix, MJ didn't even have the ball in his hands. Pippen brought the ball up. Barkley went for the steal. Pippen threw it down to Horace Grant, and they got the defense, you know, because Barkley went for the gamble. They rotated to Horace Grant, and Horace Grant threw it to Paxson.
I was just watching this the other day.
MJ had nothing to do with that play.
Well, Mr. Smith, the floor is yours, my friend.
You know, I'm going to try to keep myself under control because I don't want to find myself in a position where I get too out there. I got emotional about Melo because I'm a diehard Knicks fan. I don't want to get too emotional because I'm an MJ fan. But LeBron James, what the hell are you doing? Now, I understand. Let me be very, very clear. LeBron is a three-time champion. LeBron is the greatest player in the world. I am sick and tired of throwing out qualifiers about how great he is and how he's the closest thing to perfection as a professional athlete in terms of on the court, off the court combination. Look, I mean, enough of the praise. Listen, I love LeBron James. I love what he means to the game. I love him as a person. I think he's a great guy. But this kind of stuff right here, Max Kellerman, is sacrilegious. It is blasphemous. It is disrespectful. And I have to say this. Now, I understand he threw all the qualifiers out there. And keep this in mind. Ladies and gentlemen, before I say my comments, I have a massive headache. I had to take some decongestant, the Sudafed decongestant. I got to drink the Gatorade for the electrolytes. I got water, tea coming. I'm not feeling very well today. But damn it, I'll find the energy to address what I'm about to address. See, this is the kind of stuff where he's trying to be slick, dare I say. LeBron James, who the hell doesn't know that you have teammates? I'm sorry. Is any player in NBA history, have you or you seen an NBA player in NBA history that's been on the court by themselves? Of course they haven't been. We all know you have
Kobe
teammates.
Bryant a couple times, but other than Kobe.
No. When he won 3, he had Shaq and Robert Horry and Rick Fox and Derek Fisher and Brian Shaw and all of those boys. When Shaq was going, he had Pau Gasol and Andrew Bonham. Had Derek Fisher again. I'm getting my headache again, but I'm going to work through it because let me tell you something right now. Scottie Pippen was a Hall of Famer. Is that not recognition? I think that's recognition. If you have a teammate who is a Hall of Famer, when we show highlights of the Chicago Bulls winning championships, did we not show John Paxson shooting the jump shot? Did we not show Steve Kerr hitting jump shots? Of course we did, LeBron James. What we're talking about here is arguably the greatest player who ever lived, really indisputable to most of us. 6 NBA Finals, 6 NBA championships, 6 NBA Finals MVPs without ever allowing a Game 7. Of course Jordan didn't defend 5 people by himself. Of course he didn't score 100-plus points in each game. Of course he had teammates. So all of this stuff that LeBron James is saying really makes no sense. It just smacks in the face of respect, because when you are great, the reason why Michael Jordan was so great was not only because he was clutch, not only because he was a closer, but before he was a closer in terms of championships, Max Kellerman, he was a killer, and you knew it. Larry Bird said God in shorts waxed us when Michael Jordan dropped 63. We all know that Scottie Pippen, even though he's a Hall of Famer, and he has profound respect from me because I do consider him one of the 50 greatest players, the bottom line is that migraine headache in that 7th game against the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals resonated. When you look at these other players, these role players, let me throw down a list. No disrespect to anybody I'm going to mention. They were in the NBA. They contributed to a championship team. I mean, no disrespect, but let me throw out the names. Will Perdue, Stacey King, Bill Cartwright, who could play before Ewing took over New York. You know, all of these guys, okay? You know, and Bill Winnington, and I mean, the list goes on. Luke Longley, the list goes on and on. What would those people have been without Michael Jordan? We all know the answer to that question. So when LeBron James becomes suddenly, professorial, and starts waxing eloquently about the nuances of basketball, this is exactly the kind of thing that led to the damn 4th finals losses. Because what I'm not all for, because we know that 2 of them really were not his fault at all. But the point that I'm trying to make is, if LeBron James had Michael Jordan's attitude, do they lose to Dallas? Can J.J. Barea guard him in the finals? Can Jason Terry guard him in the finals? No, it does not happen. It does not happen. So when we're talking about Michael Jordan, of course he had teammates. Of course he played with people. Of course, other guys contributed and got it done. Of course, unlike LeBron James, Michael Jordan had one specific coach he could rely upon throughout those 6 titles, because Phil Jackson was consistently his coach, whereas LeBron James had obstacles to climb, etc., etc. It just baffles my mind, Max Kellerman, why you're LeBron James and you would utter these words, because in the end, it doesn't matter how you slice it. I know he went out of his way to express that he meant no disrespect to Michael Jordan, and I get that, and in his heart of heart, I don't think he meant disrespect, but your words come across as, at the very least, lacking a true appreciation and being a bit duplicitous, because when you are a superstar and you are the man, you know what the hell we're talking about. Don't act like you don't know what the requirements are that come along with that. LeBron James, God bless him, because thank the good Lord he is the man in the NBA, because he makes my days better throughout the season. But you know better than making the kind of statement that he made. This is some blasphemous stuff here.
Like you, I love LeBron James. I love almost everything about him. Like, I love the kind of example he sets. I love the way he plays basketball. I love his game. I love the fact that he exists and we get to cover him, the whole thing. And what's happening here is LeBron's reach is exceeding his grasp. And that's a good thing. He's reaching farther than he can actually grasp, and that way he'll optimize what he has, because Michael Jordan is out of his grasp. Once you choke away 4 consecutive fourth quarters in the NBA Finals, the Michael Jordan ship has sailed. Now, what's happening? He's throwing rocks at the throne, because he can't catch him any other way. He's trying to just tug Jordan down a little bit. Maybe then he can catch him. Talk about teammates. Like LeBron didn't have Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh, and now Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love. And, there's this, people think that Jordan gets mythologized out of proportion. In fact, if anything, he becomes underrated over time. One of the favorite narratives in the NBA is Jordan had to learn how to win. He couldn't get by the Pistons. Nonsense. Jordan never played with another all-star in his career until Scottie Pippen came along. And the first time Scottie Pippen made an all-star team, they took the Pistons 7 games, and Pippen couldn't play in Game 7 because of the migraine, and they lost in 7 games. But Pippen wasn't in his prime yet. Check his PER, check all the advanced stats. Pippen reached all-star level, then the following year hit his prime. So the first time you give Jordan an all-star, he takes the defending champs 7 games and may have beaten them if that all-star was available in Game 7. And the very next season, that all-star hits Hall of Fame level, and Jordan never doesn't win the championship again in under 7 games. Now, that's all the kind of subjective championship credit stuff and all that. How about just objectively? Objectively. You know, LeBron James is really into advanced stats, into advanced metrics, using them to make his game better, to make it more efficient. He did it in Miami. He continues to do so. I mean, he uses these stats that were not available to Michael Jordan, even had Jordan been interested in those stats. So he has the advantage there in terms of how efficient he can be. And yet, according to all the most advanced metrics, Michael Jordan is greater on average in his career, like his PER, his average PER is higher than LeBron's. Wait a minute. That includes those seasons where he declined in Washington. LeBron hasn't even hit that phase yet. So that gap between Jordan on top and LeBron, too, is only going to widen.
But here is the reason I wanted to interject. Because while you're waxing so eloquently about these metrics and everything else, and you are on point, your biggest point is something I want my audience to gravitate to, Max Kellerman, and that is this. He's sort of tugging away at Jordan because you're justifying yourself, your 3-4 record in the NBA Finals. I'm here to tell you right now, 2 of those losses shouldn't be counted.
It's really 3-2. We agree.
Exactly. It's really 3-2 to me. It shouldn't be 3-4. LeBron James really should be 3-2 to me. I don't blame him for 2 of those Finals losses. But I would also like to add something here that I haven't heard anybody say. Does Michael Jordan with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh lose to the Dallas Mavericks?
No.
Hell no. That ain't happening.
It just doesn't
I
happen.
can promise you
No,
that.
doesn't happen.
Does Michael Jordan with Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade lose to San Antonio that second go-round? I don't believe so. I recall Michael Jordan and them going against Utah. Okay? Didn't happen when you faced Karl Malone and John Stockton. Second time around.
Try getting to
results.
a 7th game first.
Same results. And I think it's important. See, here's the thing. LeBron James has proven, first of all, Maverick Carter certainly getting in his ear, because Maverick Carter has really elevated into a really astute marketing dude. Maverick Carter is a smart brother who, by the way, knows his damn basketball as well. And clearly he's in LeBron's ear in terms of marketing because LeBron sounds brilliant here. I mean, did you think about this? You know, if you're sitting up there and chipping away and tugging away at Michael Jordan, you get to somehow gloss over the fact that you're 3-4 in the NBA Finals. Although in my mind, you're 3-2.
Right.
You know, with 2 asterisks because you shouldn't have even been exposed to those situations. But the bottom line is this. You're not flawless in the NBA Finals. There's no crime in that. Doesn't take away from LeBron James' greatness. Doesn't take away from the fact that he's the greatest small forward in the history of basketball as far as I'm concerned, and an iconic figure who should be not just respected but revered. The problem is that now you're tugging at Jordan's cape and you're not apologizing for it because even though you're doing it, you won't admit that you're doing it, but none of us are fools. That's exactly what you're trying to do. And it's not going to work. It's not going to work, LeBron. You can't sit up there. Look, LeBron James played with a bunch of no-names when he went to the finals, the first go-round with Cleveland against San Antonio. We understand all of that. We get the part that you got to have teammates to win. But when you bring it up, in this particular instance, for Michael Jordan, what in God's name would be the purpose for going on a damn podcast to talk about how, Michael Jordan had teammates? I mean, Steve Kerr shot. I mean, John Paxson shot the ball. Oh, what? Well, for what? Why?
If the question is basketball, the answer is Michael Jordan. Not because he's from your era, because there's a whole generation of kids now who's going to swear by LeBron James. Because if you're watching LeBron James, it's hard to imagine that anyone was ever better than that. But kids, I'm here to tell you there was someone better than that. And the record shows it, not just the finals and stuff like that. All your advanced metrics also show it. Yep. But everything that you just said also shows it. And when he brings up the, which shot did he bring up? The Paxson shot? Right. What about the Kerr shot that won the final? I mean, that was Jordan drawing the attention of the defense and then dishing. The idea that his teammates don't get credit when, as you mentioned, Scottie Pippen's considered a top 50 all-time great. Dennis Rodman's among the greatest defensive players.
And also a Hall of Famer.
And also a Hall of Famer. Right. It's absurd. This is another Jay-Z line. Don't bark up that tree will fall on you, LeBron. Just like, leave Jordan alone. Because, Stephen A., when all is said and done, I believe that LeBron James will go down as the greatest non-big man, meaning greatest non-center, who ever lived whose name wasn't Michael Jordan. I think he's going to go down in the end ahead of Magic, ahead of Bird, ahead of Kobe. I think he'll be #1 of all the non-centers not named Michael Jordan.
Well, see,
but the Jordan ship is sailed.
But here's the problem, and let's mention Kobe in that breath. Because Kobe's all-around game per se, even though Kobe would argue differently, because Kobe would tell you the different coaches he had to play against. He had to play the point guard spot. You know, he had to do a lot of different things as well. Kobe is not just some scoring machine, and Kobe could play some defense as well. Kobe would make the argument in his favor in that regard. Here is where I would make the argument in favor of Kobe. Not about skill set, because we see the all-around, the physical specimen, and the presence that LeBron James had. Here's where Kobe was rightfully mentioned as the heir apparent to Michael Jordan. What LeBron James has matured into, Kobe and MJ came into the league with that attitude. This is the reason why we're debating this, the reason why we're having a discussion about this. What everyone out there needs to understand is that LeBron James, once again, do you know what LeBron James is in this article, in that podcast? He's the LeBron James before he ever won his first title that was at the All-Star game that had an opportunity to go one-on-one against Kobe and instead tried to pass the damn ball to Dwayne Wade.
And Kobe's like shrugging, like, what are you doing?
No, Kobe, Dwayne Wade, Melo, everybody was getting in his face. What you doing? You pass the ball for. Even in an exhibition game, he's trying to make the right play instead of stepping up and saying, I'm the man, I'm going to do this. The second LeBron James adopted that mentality, he became a champion.
By the way, you said...
So that means Jordan and Kobe had a champion's mentality. LeBron had to grow to that point.
And yet,
that's
still,
the
I
difference.
still think LeBron's going to probably wind up ahead of everyone but Jordan, who's not a center. Quickly,
Probably.
we bring up the fact that you and I consider him 3-2 in the finals, not 3-4. I think, just to give LeBron credit, it goes beyond that. Even though he lost 2 years ago to the Warriors, not only is that shouldn't that be considered a loss, that's one of the greatest finals performances of all time. To me, he's 3-2, but the asterisk is not that 2 of them are taken out. It's that he deserves extra credit for the one that we don't even count as a loss. That was an absurd performance.
And just for perspective, LeBron in his 13th season and MJ had won a 6th ring in his 13th season. This is Stephen A. playing hurt. Pretty impressive.